Hi, I'm Wild Bill, and today I'm going to talk deep, deep philosophy. Not the endoterica of the philosopher's art, mind you. I'm going to speak to a major question that I think we should all approach and perhaps answer for ourselves, each and every one. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of intelligence? What is the purpose of your life? What is the purpose of mine? We ask these questions because humans see patterns. That's something we do very good, pattern recognition. In the short term, chimpanzees do it far better. But in the long term, humans are the winners at pattern recognition. So we seek patterns. Heck, that's how I can write music. It's because I see patterns in things and I can apply patterns to things and I can apply pieces of patterns to make a quilt. That's pattern finding. That's pattern making, pattern manipulation. That's what human beings are very, very good at. But we have a quality, I think, that most animals do not. And I don't mean it's intelligence, because I now see intelligence elsewhere. From certain species of birds, which have tiny little brains that aren't like ours at all. And octopi, which seem to be able to learn, remember, identify this trainer from that trainer, squirt this one with water because either likes him or doesn't. Problem solving. We set things to problem solve. We say that intelligence is based on problem solving. So we have a paradigm called the obstructed feedway paradigm, where a researcher, because researchers got a lot of time on their hands, will put a maze up between the test animal and the food source. The idea being an animal will bring its greatest amount of creativity to the purpose of filling that void. And so we rate intelligence by the ability to overcome these obstacles that we place in the way of animals. For that purpose, I'm going to tell you from the experimentation I've seen, from the documentation I've read, from the consideration I have given the topic, I would say that squirrels rate pretty high in intelligence, even though they don't seem to from the individual point of view. They are extraordinary at solving the obstructed feedway paradigm. But that's physical. There's also the metaphysical. And this is something I think that humans have in a way that most animals, even the intelligent ones, even elephants, even orcas, do not have. Not in the same way. We have a metaphysical bent. We need to know that there was a reason for us to exist. We need to find a pattern. That's why I said that. We need to know that we fit somewhere in reality, that we have a place, that we belong or belonged, that we are important on some level, in some sense, that we are a cog that without which the universe will be a darker, colder place. Each human being has the potential for a completely different viewpoint from any other human being. We're fairly complex, and trauma makes us even more complex. One of my common Wild Billisms is that personality is the scar tissue that grows over trauma. I think psychiatrists and psychologists probably agree with me on this. June Esser, if you're out there. But we have the chance, because of our human complexity, to do something completely off the wall. What does that have to do with meaning in life, Bill? I'm glad I asked, because it has a lot to do with it. I'm Wild Bill. I try to embrace my creativity. I try to embrace my utter uniquity, because I believe that if I can become an interesting enough person that when I paint myself into a corner using my big mouth or my stupidity or my lack of wisdom, that I'm going to get a laugh from God. That maybe God's going to say like, I didn't see that coming. And that's our purpose. You see, God is the ultimate pattern finder. right? If there is pattern, if there is substance to the universe, God will be aware of it, because that is what we envision God to be. Some people say it's the creative impulse. I believe it is the awareness. The universe is aware. That's a big deal. And what happens in the universe? Well, pretty much the same thing over and over again for 13 billion years, 14 billion years almost. The same thing. What would happen if you were a smart creature and you were, say you built a train set, right? And you've got like the little city and the little town and the farm and the freight train that coming from the mine, and you have them all coordinated up so they're all running on time, and little cars on a little track look like a highway, they're all running on time. The lights come on when the room gets dark and the lights go off when the room gets light again. And you can only do that for the rest of time. Well, you're sitting there watching and you're like, oh, well, yeah, right? All right. Consider God from that point of view. The universe works as it will. Whoever it was put it in motion. Whatever force, whatever urge, put it in motion, right? It seems to obey a certain set of guidelines that we call laws of nature, laws of physics. So that becomes drudgery, right? Okay, I've now chalked up my cue, smacked the cue ball, it's banged off the rack, and now the balls are in motion. Well, I'm not going to walk over and go clunk, 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 because the whole point of it was that anything could happen, and that my expertise was going to allow me to benefit or to improve or to enjoy this game, this moment, this process, this system. So, what makes God feel good? God's an intelligent creature. Part of intelligence is trying to make yourself feel good. I feel better because I have worked. I feel better because I have done something. I feel better because I have hidden or run or jumped or climbed or driven or whatever it is I did, achieved. I assume God has those moments too, as another intelligent creature, because that's something we see about intelligence. We don't see every animal having the metaphysical aspect, but certainly they seek to improve their lives. They seek to improve themselves in some way. They seek to advance. Animals capable of learning have a tendency to improve their behaviors over time, to better dovetail them with their existence, or to modify their existence in order to better dovetail it with their environment and their needs. I'm terrible at all that stuff. But you know what I'm good at? Doing something completely off the wall and unexpected. And if there's anything that a creature that is aware of the whole universe might enjoy, just a brief instant of it, would be one piece of that machine doing something completely unusual. I'm not kidding here. I'm very serious about this. Say you're that cosmic train set captain. You've got a big Lionel train set that's all the planets and all the stars and all the galaxies and all the events going on. It's all running, and it's all running like Civilization 12, like a game. It's all running very well on its own. And you can take a look at it any time, right? And you go over here and you look at this part, you go over here and you look at this part, you go over here, and you can keep yourself interested or amused a little bit. But now you've done this a lot. You get to the point where you get into sort of a Zen state. I'm not sure that God does this, but certainly humans do, and other animals when they're so engaged. Where it's like this. And what are you waiting for? You're waiting for something to go wrong, aren't you? Waiting for something anomalous to happen. Dunk. Suddenly you see one of your trains has fallen over. Suddenly you see some of the trees on one side are leaning against each other. Suddenly you see the lights aren't coming on at the right time. Right? Or you smell ozone. Uh-oh, my train set. And I think that it's like that too for a creature with cosmic awareness. Now, hubris prevents me from being unable to approach this topic. So I'm not saying that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm certainly going to try to wrap my mind around it a little bit. That's what scientists do. I should be allowed to wrap my mind around the cosmic. So, the ultimate creatures, the top level, the top echelon, the most advanced life, will also get bored, will also want to be engaged, will also not just want to enjoy the pattern and its function, but on occasion to be surprised by it, to be interested in it again, anew, to be amused by it, to get a laugh out of it. Oh, now look what Jethro did again, right? Oh, look, Ellie Mae brought a monkey in, right? It's the last thing we expected in a Hollywood television show is a monkey, so. But that's our job, in my opinion. It may not be your job. I see it from the entertainer's point of view. I have the entertainer's glasses on, so I see it that way. But I would suggest to you that your mistakes, your problems, your boneheaded errors, your Lucy and Ricky moments, your crazy moments might be more precious to God than you know. Because otherwise, the universe can be a pretty boring place if you already know everything that's happening. So your job is to amuse God. You don't have to agree with me on this. As I said, I see it through an entertainer's point of view, and hubris blinds me to the fact that I shouldn't be discussing this matter with you. However, that's how I see it. I can't come before God and say, look, I'm the 9 millionth worst musician there ever was. Pet me. Isn't that what we want? We want rewarded. We want God to say, I noticed you. Wait, and what does God want? God wants to be able to notice something. Hey, look, something went wrong over there. Look, that went weird. Or, wow, I never expected that. Wild Bill.